Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to talk about that trifling behind no good Martell and his mama. Okay, so let's just get into it real quick. All right, y'all, at the risk of being one of those annoying YouTube people that starts their video with some stuff that nobody asked them about and don't nobody care about, I'm going to be drinking this pineapple ginger lemon juice courtesy of holisticthings.com. I will add that into the description of this video. This is so good. I was stepping for 3 hours yesterday, and sister girl got to get her joints in her life together. Okay, so moving right along. Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Okay, this is episode 15, entitled Wanda Wrecking Ball or some shit like that. Anyway, y'all, this episode really gave me a high level of pistivity. Okay, and we're gonna talk about that when we get to talking about Martell and his mama. Okay, so the episode begins with Kimmy and Maurice meeting at the land that they proposed. Now, my thing is, I don't know if this is going to be on Scott Manor or what's going on, or if this is just a different plot, because I remember previously they were talking about living in the community of what Marceau and Tisha were building. So I get the feeling that this is a separate plot of land of sorts. Okay. So all in all, they get there, they're talking about, well, basically Maurice is talking about what's going to happen with the land and, how he would like things to look. And Kimmy's kind of giving some suggestions here and there. But then we learned that Maurice is like, oh no, this is just going to be more of a spec house or whatever the case may be. And that's why I'm like so confused, because he gave Kimmy so much grief that she didn't want to live on the Scott Manor plot. So now with him saying that this is just a spec house, they agreed with each other in the beginning. So I'm a bit confused as to this process. But anyway, moving right along, he begins to tell her, yeah, and this will be the next step in your real estate career. You'll sell it. Either Marceau or Martell will build it. And then Kimmy's like, how the heck is Martell going to build shit? And he ain't got no damn builder's license. How is he about to do anything? So basically, you making all these decisions and this kind of bringing me in to bring all this stuff to fruition the way that you would like it to happen. And I really love the way Kimmy communicates things, because she basically let him know that, this has got to stop. You have got to stop perpetuating all of these plans for me to come in and pretty much be the person that's going to handle everything without consulting me from start to finish. You can't wait until everything is pretty much underway and then kind of tell me, okay, and here's your part in it. It's like Maurice is constantly on delegation mode. He's like such a businessman, like such a successful entrepreneur and things like that, where he's pretty much used to being the idea man and putting people in place to execute his ideas, which this is your wife. She's not one of your employees. So for you to continue to handle her in that manner, it's pretty messed up. And I really, really love the way Kimmy communicated that to him. I really think that Maurice wants Kimmy to be more like Tisha, where Tisha just kind of gets along to be along or whatever, and conceals her feelings and does whatever Marceau says to do, even though she really doesn't agree with a lot of the things that he does. But Maurice has Kimmy, which is older. She is, and not just the fact that she's older, she's much more mature in mindset, and she knows how to communicate exactly how she feels without being angry in her communication process, which I really, really respect. And I love it. I just love how she says it to him, because the way that she communicates the information to him is no way for him to find any negativity in what she's saying. And it helps him, in my, opinion, understand exactly what she's saying and somewhat see the error of his ways, and the fact that this is a continuous thing that you keep on doing. You keep on constantly involving her in things without involving her in things. Like you're pretty much getting the ball rolling, but not letting her help you push the ball, which hopefully they can get through that. And towards the end of the conversation, Kimmy basically says, so then he even throws in there, yeah, and about you doing things and helping out, Monster, I'm gonna need you to help me with this, picking him up from school and practice and all this schedule. And she's like, okay. And again, with Monster, you decided that you wanted to uproot his life and move him down here. That's you. That's on you. You decided that. You didn't. And I feel like viewers are going to get that misconstrued, that which they did in the past, is, basically making it like Kimmy doesn't want Monster there. That's not the case. You didn't involve me in the decision process to get him here. So don't involve me in his rearing. And I get that wholeheartedly. If you want to be in control so much, you be in control the entire way. Don't ask me for nothing. Okay. Oh, we over 5 minutes. Don't ask me for shit. Okay. That's what you do. YouTube don't let you curse until after 5 minutes, y'all. Just keep that in your arsenal. So anyway, hopefully they get better, and I think they will after the counseling session, which we'll talk about. So in the next scene, this is where my blood started boiling, y'all, because Martell, I see that he gets his delusions of grandeur from his mama. Like, this is just the epitome of a female raising a man to not be a man. Like, Martell is a simp with a capital fucking S. He is trash, trash, trash. But let's get into it. So Martell is at his mom's house with the kids, and he says he basically names his mom as a part of his village. Now, 2 episodes ago, you just gave Mel all the shit for having a village. Now you talking about your village. You have your mother doing everything for your kids. So you there right now because you're filming, but you're not working. So what else are you fucking doing besides taking care of your kids? You don't have a builder's license. You're not doing anything. And people want to keep on talking about, Mel has the license. Mel has the license. Yeah, but Mel is doing more than building houses. She's doing other things. So Mel also teaches those classes. Everybody want to talk shit about Mel being busy and all this, that, and the third. She teaches those classes on doing, removal and things like that, doing I don't know what the proper word for it is. Y'all take her damn class. But basically, she teaches people to do work orders for like homes and different things like that, where the homes need to be cleared out. There's projects that need to be done before actually being able to sell a home beyond what contractors do. Okay. So if Martell was a part of all of that, why isn't he doing that type of work? Because I've seen some of her students real live saying that they've made a lot of money doing that. So you have to go back to humble beginnings. If you were so busy, you were shooting in the you were shooting on the court with her, right? As they say, you was back there doing all the work with her. Then why don't you resume what you know? But yet you want to keep on bashing Mel for doing what it takes to take care of your children. But anyway, I digress. So he says, he talks about not liking to have to do hair and all these things for his girls, and how that's a woman's job and all this shit. I'm like, dude, seriously? That's a woman's job to do your kids' hair? You're a single dad, sir. These are things that you're going to have to do. And it's not about it being a gender role kind of thing where it's a woman's job to do this or a man's job to do that. It's a parent's job to take care of your children. Okay? If you have to be a part of your children's rearing, period. I don't care what it is, whether it's changing a diaper, doing hair, you know what I mean? All of those things. You have to be a part of that entire process. That's called being a parent. There are no gender roles in parenting. I'm so sick and tired of that. If your kid's hair needs to be done, it needs to be done. Period. Just do it. So I didn't like that. I don't like how he constantly tries to make reference on the man's role and the woman's role. No, both of y'all role is to take care of them damn kids. And if somebody got some nappy ass hair and they need to be combed, if they with you, you combing that hair. And that's that on that. Okay. So anyway, moving right along, Martell sends the moms his mom sends the kids outside to play. So him and the mom sit down and have a conversation. So he says to his mom, starts talking about how they had the depression talk in Vegas and all those things, and how Marceau kind of brought it up, and how he was saying that sometimes, you can just be bogged down with doing so many things and working so much that it can sort of make you feel like you're depressed, but you may just be stressed. So I don't know if this is kind of weird, because I'm like, did you had a session with Dr. What's his name before you had this conversation? Because this is kind of sounding similar. So, but anyway, um, then his mom basically says, you don't need therapy. You just do too much. You need to slow down. And he's like, yeah, I have slowed down a lot over the last year. And she kind of made a reference of, saying that she thought that Mel was going to work her son to death. Like Mel was working the hell out of Martell. And so to the point where she was going to kill him. And, all she did was lay around with her feet up. Well, Mama Hope, she had 4 children, okay, and at least the first 3 kids seemed like they were stair steppers. So I don't understand what you're talking about. She was sitting around with her feet up, because clearly homegirl wasn't sitting around with her damn feet up, because she's toting it around and making that money right now. So if she was sitting around with her feet up, she must have been putting her feet up and getting educated on what to do when a fool don't do right. Okay, so don't look like to me that homegirl had her feet up. Okay, she must have been out here pounding the pavement right along with your son, but he was pounding it in another direction and pounding another bitch. Okay, which is why he's sitting there looking stupid, talking to your stupid ass. Okay, check that. You should have made a better consistency of teaching your son how to treat women better. And I can't stand when mothers, I have a son, my son is 5 years old, okay, and he's very young, but I'm teaching him, along with my husband, to respect women. And that's the problem. A lot of these mothers are not teaching. They're so busy upholding their sons and making them feel like, they are king dingling, okay, that they're not teaching their sons how to properly be respectful to women. And it's very disheartening, and you can see it right through Martell's soft simp ass, okay. So anyway, she says, just because Mama Hawk goes on to say she isn't going to lose any sleep over Martell cheating on Mel and having another baby. Like, she's just like, you know what? It happened. It is what it is. I have to move on, which I can understand, because it's like, at the end of the day, that's her grandchild too. So she's, she can't change that. It happened. The marriage is over. But at the same token, you don't have to be bashing Mel now, because you was the same chick somehow that's gonna be your daughter-in-law forever and all this stuff. So was you bullshitting? Was you lying? It sounded like you were. So then his mom revealed. So then they start talking about, Martell reveals to his mom that he was upset that, she taught that the son or the kids were singing the song that Mel came up with, about their relationship, pretty much, or kind of like, well, the song was more of an ode to their relationship or whatever, but according to Mel, she compiled research from other people and their relationships or whatever. But girl, it was about you and Martell. So whatever. So anyway, getting to the point. Tank, the son, his oldest son at this point, his son with him and Mel, was talking about the song or whatever, and then the mom said, well, sing the song to me, baby. And she was like, oh, that ain't nothing but your mom singing about your daddy. So all this time Martell was ragging on Mel, making her feel bad, or trying to, make it seem like she was teaching the kids the song and telling them that it was about him, when the whole time it was your damn mama being messy. So there you go. And I don't really think that the mother meant to be messy, but you don't tell your grandson that that's what the song is all about. You consult Martell and Mel first to see exactly what they have revealed to the kids first before you even say anything like that. So then he didn't come for his mother the way that he was coming for Mel. So I don't understand the whole process. So he was like, you shouldn't have told him that song was about me. That's disrespectful, for him to be, now that he knows that this, well, you shouldn't have been out here cheating. Here's the thing. No, we cannot change the past or whatever. However, instead of you utilizing that as a teaching moment to maybe you and Mel sit down in a mature manner and talk to the kids, you are continuing to try to make yourself be portrayed or look like this person that you're not. Martell, you fucked up. You cheated. You did this and that. You didn't prepare yourself financially in the workforce to be alone. You centered everything, your gravity of life around Mel pretty much being the backbone to your success. Okay. And let's be clear, you're embarrassed. You are embarrassed about how stupid you look. And now you are the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what you are. Mel has pretty much been the brains of the operation. Everybody knows, and you don't like it. And that's tough titty. Okay? It's okay. If you would just sit there and accept, all right, yes, my wife was very smart. She was pretty much the brains behind the operation of everything that we do. I don't like the way she talks to me sometimes. And I feel like I'm, less than a man because of the fact that she is pretty much the brains of the operation. But you know what? I'm gonna accept it and be respectful of her. No, you don't want to do that. You want to just bash her and try to make her look worse than you. We already know what you've done. You've already screwed the pooch. Everything that you've done is in the atmosphere. We know. Okay? So it's time to stop being embarrassed. It's time to grow up, be a man, and say, you know what? I messed up. Even beyond the cheating. Let's put cheating on the back burner. Okay, let's be clear, you've done it. But you're not out here being aggressive trying to do something to better yourself. You're just out here on a pity brigade trying to prove a point that, oh, yeah, but yeah, I did this, but Mel did this. And yeah, Mel didn't give the baby a bath. And Mel is always working and not with the kids. Instead of you on here being on a mission to bash your ex-wife, if you put that much work into getting your shit together and actually getting your businesses and repairing your business relationships with people that don't trust you now, you'll be a whole better person. And let's be clear, them children are very smart. They probably on YouTube watching all these videos that we all do and everything. And they see you disrespecting their mother. Stop it. Just stop it, Martell. And Mama Holt, you ain't no better because you sitting here putting your pissy ass son on a pedestal. You need to pluck him right off that joker and tell him the truth and tell him that he needs to pull himself up by the bootstraps and stop being a bitch. And that's that on that. So anyway, in the next scene, Maurice and Martell meet at Maurice's office to meet with Dr. Francis. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I love Dr. Francis because he is shady in his own right, because he's going to tell you about yourself without really saying it. But I really appreciate in this scene how Maurice was the one that looked like he was really getting something from it. Like, I really feel like Maurice understood the assignment of what was to happen today. Like, he started to really see the error of his ways and put a mirror to himself and see that he needs to do better. So they all sit down. Him and Martell sit down, and Marceau was supposed to come, but they FaceTime him, and he's running somewhere. I'm like, child, you need to run to the plastic surgeon and get the man boobs gone because you look a hot ass mess. You ain't running enough. All you do is run your damn mouth. That's all you do, and try to put your wife down and make her feel like shit. Maybe if you were running enough to get rid of that baggage, you wouldn't look as stupid as you do and say all the stupid stuff that you say, because he gonna say something to the effect of, yeah, I don't need to go to therapy, or you guys have fun with that. I hope you guys get something out of it. And then in his confessional, he's gonna say, well, Dr. Francis to me is just more of a doctor for women, and people who think like women. So basically you calling your brother and Martell females, which I'm just like, you are a clown with a red nose. You know what? Don't go sit down. Keep running and run to the gym and do some strength training, because you are actually looking like a female with your man boobs and your personality. You're actually acting like a bitch. So maybe you should be sitting in this session so that Dr. Francis can teach you how to be less of a bitch. How about that? So anyway, moving right along, Dr. Francis is sitting there listening to them, and Maurice reveals that he wanted to meet because Marceau brought up depression. And he wanted to really talk about that and kind of see if some of the experiences that he's having really has to do with depression. And thank you, El Moore, for commenting and in watching. That is exactly what Marceau did. Absolutely. Yes. Marceau, he's a jerk. Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand him, honestly. Like, he needs to get himself together, and he treats his wife like trash, and I'm just over him. So thank you for commenting. I really appreciate you watching. So moving right along. So Dr. Kitson basically kind of lays out depression. Like, he's like, listen, sometimes we have to look at what we're doing and what the purpose behind what we're doing is, and how it makes what we're doing makes other people in our lives, how it makes them feel. And Maurice was talking about how he feels like Kimmy is kind of battling with his career. And he was like, no, Kimmy's not battling. Your wife is not battling with your career. You're creating that battle of your career and your wife because of the way that you're handling her and the way that you're presenting your career and your wife. And basically kind of talking about how he doesn't involve her in a lot of things. And I really loved how Maurice kind of looked at himself and said, you know what? I am not communicating with Kimmy as well as I thought I was. And I really do need to do a better job of making her the forefront of my decisions, or involving her in the beginning of the process. And I really, really thought that if nothing came out of this session, I really appreciated him actually putting a spotlight on his shortcomings and really taking the time to uphold his wife and do better. Then I really liked how Martell, at the end, I think Dr. Francis really came for him, but I don't think Martell caught it. But before we get to that part, they kind of cut in commercial trying to make it seem like Marceau has two wives or something like that, which I was like, y'all really tried it. Y'all really try to create like a climax of us to come back. We gonna be here. We gonna watch the show. Y'all ain't have to do all that. But basically they went into talking about Marceau because he was really like the start of them talking about this depression conversation. And Dr. Francis says that Marceau has two wives. One is his job and one is his family. Okay. And he's battling to try to make them both work, which I don't really think that he's battling hard enough to make his family work. I think that he is pushing so hard to make Tisha be that front runner in handling everything that has to do with their children, with their house, and all those things. And he's not really doing what he needs to do to be the man of the house and really show his kids a proper example of being a dad, a present dad. Because at the end of the day, working and working and working yourself to death all the time is not something that kids can honor. Like, kids are not thinking, oh, I would, rather my dad work himself to death than hang out with me or do anything with me that will create memories, right? So, I really wish Marceau had came to that session and was open-minded to actually listen to Dr. Francis, because I think that he just has Marceau is just the type of person like, I'm gonna think how I think and this is what it is. Everybody better fall in line or whatever. What else is going on? Like, he don't really care. So anyway, moving right along, Martell, they go on and talk about how they both always want to work and do this and do that. And Martell says he thinks that Mel should be listening to this session about how, people are pretty much taking work over being with their families. And I'm like, Martell, you need to work some more, because all you doing is working your damn lips and talking shit. That's all you do. And try to battle your wife, or always trying to battle back and forth with some female. Like, that's not a job that pays well. So you need to figure out another way to work. Mel is actually out here pounding the pavement and doing things to make actual coins. Okay. You, on the other hand, I don't know what you're doing besides dicking and diving with coleslaw and lying. That's all you do. So anyway, Dr. Francis just kind of says, all in all, that everybody needs to, once you start to really take a look at yourself and realize who you really want to be, you have to take action towards, number one, acknowledging your faults and doing what it takes to be the person that you want to be, but doing it in a way where it works for everybody around you and it's not just about you. Okay. And I think I really took something from that. And he says you have to take responsibility in figuring out what you want and how to execute it on your own. Because he was basically like, I'm not about to tell y'all how to do this. Okay. Because you ain't about to say Dr. Francis said. Okay. So I really hope that they continue to go. I don't think Martell is going to go because Mark anymore. Honestly, he said he liked going with Maurice, but I think it was more so because it was more about Maurice and Marceau. They didn't really dive into Martell and his bullshit, and that's why Martell stopped going to Dr. Francis in the beginning because he didn't want to hear about himself and his bullshit. So we'll see how these sessions continue to go and if he continue to go. So moving right along, in the next scene, everybody arrives at the destiny race that's centered around reaching your destiny and defining it to find your purpose. Okay, this is something that is done by Marceau and Tisha. Then he says, everybody was going to put a stake in the ground or something, and they wrote on there what their destiny was and what their purpose was and how they planned on reaching the goal. So everybody does the run or whatever, and then as the run is going on, Martell and his mom meet up with Van, which is Vanessa, Melody's mother, and Maurice and Kimmy at, I run. So this is like, I guess what they call like the water station. This is the water station. And this was at the end so they were going to meet everybody there. So Martell didn't run the race at all because he had to bring his mom and she didn't feel like it. But anyway, next you see Mel and Tiffany walk up, not sweating or nothing, child, because they ain't run no damn well. All they did was run their mouth in the car as somebody drove their ass to the end because they didn't take a shortcut, but they didn't run. So they ended up there. So I digress. So then so basically everybody is done racing and they're all standing around in a circle. And so Tiffany starts talking and Tiffany says, I want to thank everybody for coming to our anniversary event and whatnot. We really had a good time, but I really want to understand why everything in a group always ends up with us arguing with each other, like everybody arguing. So Destiny kind of chimes in and says, it's Martell. Martell always got to be right. Martell, always got to make it about him, which I agree. He does do that because the last time they were together, Melody wasn't even messing with him. And he want to prove the point. I'm the one that wanted to get a divorce first. Who gives a fuck? Like, come on, Martell. Really? Really? You should be wearing Marceau's boobs because you're a clown. You really are. Like, seriously. And I loved how Tiffany's husband was like, in the last episode, he was like, why does it even matter, dude? Like, he really was saying, you look like a bitch right now. Like, seriously. And I'm really over it. You wouldn't be my friend in real life. You better be glad I'm on this TV show with my wife getting paid, because this right here, you ain't my type of dude acting like that. So anyway, moving right along. Destiny says because Martell always tries to make it the Martell show. And then she says he's always being passive aggressive to Mel and, trying to reevaluate and put his pain out in the world and show off. Okay. Then he breaks in saying, why does Mel always have to react? So you supposed to be able to talk shit about Mel and she's supposed to just stand there and not say nothing, which I'm a kind of go against myself a little bit because I feel like sometimes Mel should not react. I think that more people will see how stupid he looks if she decides to just say nothing, because at the end of the day, what he's saying doesn't affect you anymore. You guys are no longer married. Okay, you getting it and doing your own thing. We see you, sis. You got your t-shirts, you got your business where you teaching people how to get money, you doing your speaking engagements. We know you a boss in your own right? Why are you letting this clown continue to break you down? He broke you down for 5 years of your marriage. He's still out here looking stupid. That lets you know right there you already winning. Let him keep on being a clown in public. And you continue to be a winner in public and not stoop to his level. Melody claims to be this word sorceress, how she can go back and forth with the best of them. You're not winning, sis. And your reads are dumb. You coming back and forth with him over some stupid shit. Like, Let that shit go. That stuff is beneath you. All that shit that he's talking about, all that stuff that's in the past. And even if y'all doing it for ratings, at this point, we're tired. As viewers, I'm tired of seeing y'all argue. Let's move on to something else because I'm done with it. So at this point, his mom walks in. His mom walks up and she's kind of like saying to Destiny, like, why you always protecting Mel? Like, let your name is not Mrs. Holt. That's Mr. Holt. And all this, that, and the third. I'm like, Mama Holt, you need to mind your business too. Because unless you about to check your son for his stupidity, yeah, I miss me with that stuff you talking about. Because your son is a clown. He really is. And you over here wearing clown shoes with him right now, over here protecting him, being stupid. And then Martell just standing there eating it up because he loves drama. That's what it's all about. Him and being in the midst of the drama, just like Destiny just said. She's like, he always making stuff about him and creating a drama-fied situation. And here you go, doing it again, trying to amp Mel up. But I do appreciate Mel just keeping it centered. She didn't really get all hype with Martell, maybe because her mom was there and out of respect for his mother. But I'm glad that she didn't participate in the buffoonery. Okay. So anyway, Marlene, which is Martell's mother, Rose, as she's defending Martell, she basically is telling Destiny to mind her business. She says Destiny shouldn't always be taking up for Mel. Then she says they are always coming for her son, talking about everybody on this show basically always coming for Martell. No, Martell always opening his damn mouth. Let's be very clear. So Destiny says, you better be glad your bodyguard is here today talking about his mom. And his mom says, I'm not his bodyguard. I'm his mama, but I can be his bodyguard. Now I get it. That's your son. You want to protect him. Okay. I get it. I will be protecting my son too, but not like that. Like Martell is just dead wrong. And for all the stuff that he done did, his mother need to have a conversation with him about it. So moving right along, Miss Marlene, Martell's mama, walks over to Vanessa, which is Mel's mom, to say goodbye. She's like, listen, I ain't about all this drama. I'm not Miss Wanda with it. So I'm about to go ahead and chuck the deuces and get the hell up on out of here. Okay. So as she's talking to Vanessa, because they're talking about, yeah, we need to get the kids together like we always used to, and take them out and do things together and whatnot. Here come Miss Wanda bringing her damn head full of hairspray over here to start some shit. So Wanda says, yeah, I was talking to Martell and Mel about getting back together. And Marlene is just like, child, taxi, I'm ready. We ain't about to talk about this. Nope. They don't need to get back together. You know what? I don't want to talk about it. I'm about to go. I got to get the fuck up on out of here. So then Vanessa goes into, saying, well, I don't know. I don't think you need to be talking to our kids about getting back together at all. And she's like giving her the stank eye the whole time and says, well, she was the one on social media saying young girls that are messing with married men, make sure you get everything the wife gets. And Marlene was like, see, that's that bullshit. That's exactly what I'm talking about. She leaves and says, I'm just going to stay in my lane. And this ain't it right here. So I see, I holler. So she rolls out. So then Vanessa says to Wanda, no one is going to take advice from you when you say one thing to their face and cut them down on social media behind their backs. Miss Wanda is terrible on social media, but she tries to say that so is Vanessa as well later on in this conversation. She's basically like, well, you be talking shit on social media too. So why are you coming down on me or whatever? But I think Vanessa just had a lot of built up stuff because nobody wants to see somebody talking about their child. And, people are going to defend their kids. It is what it is. All right. So after she says that no one's going to take advice from Wanda, then she says the woman who has a husband and a boyfriend. Basically, Vanessa saying that to Wanda because Miss Wanda kind of glorifies having a husband and a boyfriend. And Wanda says, didn't you go out there and cheat? So I guess she been on social media finding out dirt on Vanessa because she brings that up. And then Vanessa gets pissed. She says, woman, please, I never dated a married man and I don't do ghetto. So she basically called Miss Wanda and her 5 cans of hairspray in her head ghetto, which, she is, but whatever. So Vanessa says, you stay busy with Tisha and Marceau. Your little hands and your little brain is full. Like, I guess she's just over her. She's just like, you lady are full of crap. And I really don't want to be talking to you right now because you're pissing me off and you saying a whole bunch of nothing. And so she's like, well, you could just wander, like you could just walk away. You could just walk away. And I'm like, well, bitch, you came over here. I was minding my damn business. So why don't you walk away? Why are you over here? And that's basically what Vanessa said. She's like, well, you can walk away as well. Like, I was over here first, like going on, just going on. So then Tisha and Mel walk over and they like trying to figure out what the hell going on and basically clean up the situation. So Tisha starts saying, well, you be saying stuff on social media too. Both of y'all need to get it together. And I'm like, Tisha, listen, it's your mama. Your mother is the one. She been the one starting shit ever since this show came on. So you coming over here, I get it. You want to protect your mother, but let's be very clear. Your mother is the social media villain over here. Okay, it's definitely not Melody's mother. All right, and she probably don't even know how to. She don't even look like she know how to work social media like that. So don't be coming for Miss Vanessa like that. Your mother be trying it, and you need to check your mama. She doing your dirty work all the time, and you just need to stop. Y'all need to stop. So anyway, they go back and forth about who's cyberbullying who and all this, that, and the third. And finally, they're like, listen, we get it. We both are trying to protect our children. Let's just move on. So Tisha takes her mom to the side and she says, you really got to stop doing this. You got to really get yourself together. All these, instances where you're going back and forth with somebody, like it's really becoming a lot from me to deal with. So then she says, I talked to Kimmy in Vegas and Kimmy was basically like, she didn't say what she said. And, I just really don't want to be going back and forth with people over stuff that you done said. Like, I'm trying to let it go and move on. And she's like, well, we gonna talking about who she gonna fight and all this stuff. Girl, Miss Wanda, all you gonna do is scratch somebody with your weave. Get on. You're not about to fight nobody, lady. Okay, just go sit your ass down and shut up. You just want to be on the show. I get it, girl. Get your check. Go on, be the class clown if that's what's gonna make you famous, child. Get your 15 minutes, honey. But you're doing too much. You're not about to fight Vanessa, and you damn sure not about to fight Kimmy. Okay, because Kimmy will slap Samurai your ass back into the hairdresser's chair. So stop it. Stop. Okay, just knock it off. So Tisha's just like, Mom, just basically telling her mother to just stop clowning and just stop ruining relationships for her. And then she finally comes to the conclusion that, you know what? Maybe I don't need to invite my mama everywhere because she do be being a little ghetto. So I'm going to have to remedy that. Okay. So please don't invite your mom nowhere else, Tisha, because she's doing the most. But I'm sure Carlos King is going to have her come because she is entertaining. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And I'm going to hop off and I'm going to get back on and talk about Beverly Hills. So if you watch Beverly Hills, come back on and holler at your girl. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a good evening if you're not coming back.